What's up, YouTube? I'm Chuck,
And I'm Matt.
and welcome to the first episode of Tab Talk Live. We got a good show for you. I have no clue how long it's going to run. Who cares? Do you
Yeah,
care, Matt?
no, not really.
Yeah.
Let's just spout shit.
All right. So, a couple of big topics we're going to talk about today for sure. We're going to talk about Ubisoft, and then Matt also wants to have a huge rant about the state of lazy developers.
Not
So,
a huge rant, just it
well,
irks me.
I'm going to make it a huge rant.
Okay.
All right, because yeah. But first, Matt, I want to talk to you about a little project I'm watching. You are familiar. I'm hoping everyone here is familiar with Gearbox Software. You know, Brothers in Arms, Borderlands,
Yeah.
that really shitty Alien versus Predator game that came out recently.
We don't talk about that one, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. They are working on a new MOBA. Now I know you don't like MOBAs that much, but
Mm.
I play me a couple MOBAs. I love me some Smite. I've tried League of Legends. I've played Dota. I've tried them all. Well, not all of them. Not literally, but I've tried the big two. But Smite's my favorite. I play Smite like daily. But Gearbox is working on a game called Battleborn. Yes, that's right. Battleborn.
Still
Let's
sounds like a Skyrim DLC.
I agree 100% that it sounds like a Skyrim DLC. However, let's not forget that Gearbox has made some pretty good games, and then they've also done some pretty shit ones, like Duke Nukem, which, to be fair, wasn't 100% theirs. But the Alien vs. Predator game, you really fucked up. But Borderlands 1 and 2 were great games. Everyone likes the Brothers in Arms games. Matt, do you think that Gearbox can make a MOBA? And not only a MOBA, they're calling this a first-person MOBA. Like first-person shooter, I imagine. There's not much info yet. There's only an announcement trailer.
Hmm.
But
Well, I think they can make a MOBA, no problem. It's making a MOBA that's different from the rest. Whether it's in the end, to me, for being first person, it is just a camera angle. It's whether it plays differently to all the others.
right. And another thing is, the thing about MOBAs too, and especially with most competitive games these days, you know, constant updating. I don't think Gearbox has never undertaken uh, I don't think they've ever undertaken a project this big. A MOBA is a huge project. It's almost like an MMO. You have to make constant balance updates, constant changes. You have to keep releasing things to keep it fresh. Can
Mm.
Gearbox keep up? Because all we've seen from Gearbox really is they put out Borderlands 2 DLCs and other DLCs, but nothing that's just like, oh, we got to react. Well, I mean, they've reacted to problems before, but do you think they can
Mm.
handle this?
I think they can, but it's sort of like since as you said, they're going to have to keep releasing things to keep it fresh all the time. Does that mean they're going to go for a one-time payment thing like Guild Wars, or are they going to just have like money trickling in from subscriptions?
They haven't said, although most MOBAs are free to play. Not all of them. There have been a few exceptions, but most MOBAs are
So you
usually
reckon
free to
they'll have
play.
like an in-game store where you'll like buy
Hmm.
things that way and stuff?
They could go to Dota route where it's free, all the characters are free, but what you're paying for is like HUD modifications or new announcer voices or new skins or costume pieces for the characters. They could go the League of Legends and Smite route where the game itself is free, but they only give you certain free characters per week or per patch rotation, and if you want other ones, you got to buy them. All right,
Hmm.
I'm actually okay with that because I play Smite. I bought the $30 God pack, which is a good deal. But then there's the other thing. What kind of surprised me most is they announced this not just for PC, where MOBAs typically go. This is also going to be out on the Xbox One and the PS4. Thoughts?
Um, I think that's actually quite good of them. I mean, even though I'm not a fan of MOBA, it's just nice to see them thinking about the other platforms for a change, not just saying, okay, we're doing it for PC and then we're going to ignore everybody else because not everybody has a good PC.
Hmm. Another interesting thing I want to point out about that too is that There was another console. There was another MOBA that was released on consoles a long time ago, which was the Lord of the Rings one that
Hmm.
WB Games did. And what I thought was interesting was that actually controlled pretty well with a controller. I'm a keyboard and mouse guy myself. I know you sometimes prefer controllers depending on the type of game.
Yeah,
I played
depends
Dark Souls with a
very much on the
controller.
game. Yeah,
Yeah, I played
definitely.
Dark Souls with a controller. But I guess the question is that consoles don't really support keyboard and mouse functionalities. So my question to you is they'll probably Gearbox has done some pretty solid stuff. All right.
Hmm.
So my question for you is that do you think that they'll be able to do something that works well with both, especially if this is more of a first-person shooter than a MOBA? Do you think that they can handle? They've done good PC ports. All right. Do you
Hmm.
think that they will be able to do good by the PC gamers at that point? Because most of them are going to be playing on a keyboard and mouse. Do you think they'll be able to handle making
Well,
control scheme for both a controller and a keyboard?
yeah, it's just a matter of UI. It's in the end, it's like mapping W to the upward motion on the joystick on the Xbox controller or something. I don't think it's going to be like a matter of doing that. I don't know, it's going to depend entirely on the feedback from the players, I think.
Well, I didn't want to get too into this because we literally don't know much except that it's coming out for PC 3. I almost said 360. Wow. PC, Xbox One, and PS4. But I
Hmm.
wanted to bring it up just because I'm watching this project, Gearbox. I'm hoping this is going to be good. For me, Smite is the best MOBA out there. I'd love to see something compete with Smite to make high res do better
Yeah,
because
'cause from what I've
yeah,
seen of it so far, it's they really have to make it their own MOBA because even just looking at it, like from that one trailer, I thought, oh, it's every other MOBA.
yeah, I've seen this trailer before like a
Yeah.
million times. Some of the characters look cool,
Yeah, like, there's like one
like
like
they
gentleman
blatantly
robot.
ripped off the heavy from Team Fortress 2. That was good. Um, okay, all jokes aside, I'm interested in this project. I'm not gonna predict whether it's gonna be good or not. I'm just gonna leave it at I'm interested and I'm watching. What about you? Are you interested or watching this at all?
That one, no. I'm more interested in watching No Man's Sky.
That would make a good interesting topic. I mean, right now that's only a PS4 announcement that we know of, but come on, I don't think that's gonna stay exclusive.
Nah, I can't. I mean, there's no way they can do that.
I don't
Think,
know, cons.
yeah, just thinking about how vast that game is, they couldn't restrict it to a console because there's just too much interest from like even the PC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, especially the PC because it's like Minecraft without shitting itself.
It's Minecraft that keeps growing and growing and growing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not a huge fan of Minecraft, but I am looking at No Man's Sky. Done by that British studio whose name I totally forgot. No Man's Sky. We're gonna look it up right now.
I know it's the one that almost drowned in Guildford, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, they flooded. No Man's Sky is being worked on by Hello Games.
That's the one. Hello Games.
And according to the Wikipedia, the only platform announced is PS4, but there is a TBA next to it, so they might be announcing other platforms soon.
I really hope they do because I'll be really disappointed. Because in the end, it's being developed on a PC anyway, probably.
But we'll get on that later. We're getting on that later. So I want to next talk about one of the big topics, Ubisoft.
Oh, here we
What
go.
the fuck are you doing? I mean, how do I put this? I agree with you half the time, and then the other half of the time, you are just the biggest fucking retards I've ever seen. Like, okay, let's start with the big one. Let's start with the big topic. No women, no female playable characters in Assassin's Creed Unity. I just wanted to leave it at that. No, I'm kidding. Um, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
okay.
again, I
Okay,
don't understand that.
let me state my unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
It's their game. They can make it
Yeah.
how they want. However, Ubisoft, the way you said it was extremely retarded, and shame on you for being absolutely retarded. Now, I don't do any programming or modeling myself, but Matt, you do.
Hmm.
They said that putting female characters in this game at this point would cost too much.
Well,
How
no,
much
I
does it
can't.
cost to take a model and just do this?
It's not a matter of just doing that. It's a matter of making the model, and you have to design probably. No, they don't just want one female because they've got. What's the name of the new dude in this one?
Oh, I can't even
Something
remember.
stupid. But basically, they've
It's
got
a
basically
French name because it's a
yeah,
French character.
they've got like X many different male skins, so they're gonna have to have X many female skins,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to probably find if they don't just do it all by hand, they'll have to find a female for mocap, female for voice acting, etc. And it's probably going to have a whole different skeleton rig. But even then, someone in Ubisoft, I can't remember the name, actually said, "Oh, that was like a what day and a half's work."
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. That's me. That's like okay with if you've got everyone there, your voice actress is there, and your mocap guys are there already and everything. But I'd say it's not going to be more than a week.
Mm-hmm.
But even
So,
then, like imagine this, Chuck. I know you don't really care so much, but what if you heard of a game coming out that
mhm.
boasts interacting with other people, it's cooperative, but they said you could only play as females? Wouldn't you be just a little bit miffed?
No, okay. I'm not saying I'm not saying that the people who are complaining about this are wrong. What I'm saying is that it's their game. I think they should be allowed to make it how they want to make it, right?
Hmm.
I am not disputing the fact that because here's another thing is people that complain about this. One of the things they pointed out was during this time period the game takes place. I think it's the French Revolution.
Hmm.
Um, there were female assassins during that time.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's a good choice. All I'm saying is I support them for making the game they want to make or the way they want to make it. I just think that do I personally agree with it? Nah, I'm kind of on the fence. But
Mm.
I still think it's their company. The market has a right to get mad, but at the end of the day, it's still their game. They're going to make it the way they want. And whether there's women in it or not, let's be honest, it's going to sell. It's an
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed
it
game.
is definitely. But at the same time, I do feel like just because they aren't doing that, they are kind of alienating the female fans just a bit more.
No, like I said, I'm not saying they're wrong to complain. I'm not saying they're wrong to complain. What I'm saying is that we also still have to remember it's their game. It's their right to make it how they want, and I think we should at least respect that. On the other hand, Ubisoft, now I'm pretty much done defending you because you've made some other inane comments in the past, and one of the ones I want to bring up. This one's kind of old, but I kind of want to give everyone that's watching a laugh. Uh, so I think Ubisoft. Oh, what did they say? They gave a number. Ubisoft. Uh,
God, Chuck, didn't do your research beforehand.
I know. No, I did, and then I lost it. Yes, Ubisoft says 93 to 95% of their PC games get stolen by pirates. What do you think about this? This is old. This is like before you.
Are
I
we
know I just said.
talking
What do you think about
illegally
this?
downloaded or like the shipping vessels are being hijacked?
Well, it's obviously not shipping vessels because it's digital. Uh, because this is around 2 years ago. This
Mhm.
comment was made, and this is when we were all talking about um DRM. When DRM was this way bigger of an issue than it really is now.
Oh yeah, everyone
Now
was
it's
like,
more widely. Yeah.
yeah, I get you.
So, but they were trying to defend DRM, which I'm okay with that. But
I'm okay with some of it.
I'm okay with like not all of it, but I'm okay with certain types of DRM. But that's a whole different issue.
Hmm.
What I wanted to point out is just the way they said this asinine thing was like, they basically, yeah, they said 93 to 95% of their PC games get stolen by pirates. Now, here's the problem with this, okay? Is that how do I put this?
You're not
Hey, why are they
trying to
focusing on
suggest
the
that
piracy numbers?
93% of their. You're not saying like 93% of their profits have been taken.
No,
You
it's
mean
more
actually mean
like
like
93 to
93% of their
95% of the games
titles have
they've
been
released.
yeah, like
Hmm.
93% of their actual titles have someone pirating it.
But on the other hand, that's like, oh, how do I put this? It's so dumb. One, why are you focusing on the piracy numbers? Like, why? Ubisoft apparently just hates PC gamers because they always look for like the best ways to fuck over the PC community every chance they get. Am I wrong? It seems
Um,
like.
doesn't seem like that to me.
All right, I want to hear your side of the story then.
No, let's hear your side of the first story first. It's your rant.
Okay, so let's think about um. Okay, Watch Dogs.
Right.
Did you hear about that scandal about someone on the PC version found the E3 filters that they used for the original,
Yeah. They found all like the different like
the
lighting
graphic
settings.
settings? Yeah,
Yeah.
they found all the graphic settings that they use on E3, and then they got really pissed when someone found that out. Which Ubisoft, it was kind of your fault for not cleaning up the client.
Not
Like,
really. It was the guy who's in charge of that thing for not cleaning it out. But in
okay,
the end, it's like,
he still works for
why
Ubisoft.
did this? Yeah, but still, like, why did they hide it in the first place? They could have just, yeah, they could have downplayed the graphics options for the PC and all the other platforms, but at
And then
least for the
had a
PC, had it as an option somewhere.
That's the nice thing about PC gaming. We have graphics sliders or we have graphics buttons to change graphics settings, you know? Like, come on, really? I have a 780 Ti, a 4770K, and 16 gigs of RAM. I could have run your game at those top settings. Maybe at a performance hit, like you said. Maybe. But shouldn't that be my risk to take? Or am I just crazy? What do you
You're
think?
crazy,
Okay. Thank
but
you.
you have a point, but you're crazy.
Okay. But so my favorite part about that was, and this is another great Ubisoft grave digging thing, was they named, okay, you know how like files have names and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they named all the graphic filters E3. Like they didn't even change the names of it to try to hide it. They just named it E3.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I mean, it's I can
really?
understand them I can understand that they wanted to make the game as pretty as possible because that's what is going to make it sell in the end at
Right.
E3. It's just why
Why
remove
take it
it or
out?
hide it in
Like
the
I
first place.
understand. It's a multi-platform game. It has to run on consoles. Screw you, consoles. But it has to run on them. They were intent on releasing a multi-platform game in the first place.
I
Fine.
think maybe it's something to do with like when the guy finally comes to hit build on his keyboard on his PC, it can just do it, and then he just has to hit it again for every other console or platform out
I mean, all the especially nowadays, Xbox One and the PS4 both run on x86 architecture. Which guess what? That's what a Windows machine runs on, x86 architecture. It's so easy now. They could have left those options in. It's almost universal at this point,
there.
you know. So, I mean, Ubisoft, and don't even get me. No, you know what? Get me started on this. Uplay. Oh my fucking god!
All right,
Like I know,
you're
I
gonna
just made
have
a
to
weird.
elaborate on Uplay, especially for me, because to me it sounds exactly like Steam or Origin. What is so bad about Uplay?
What's bad about it is it doesn't work.
Okay, examples. Come on.
Okay, so how many? Oh yeah, 5 Mu 2 in the chat points out that the E3, and I forgot about this. He's right. The E3 filters, right, that made the game look pretty.
Hmm.
They made Watch Dogs run better on the PC.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So those graphics that they were worried about, what, couldn't be run at FPS rate issues? It made the game run better. It made the game stop stuttering. It made Ubisoft, please. You had the cure to half your Watch Dogs problems right there. What were you thinking? Anyways, so Uplay. Uplay is kind of sort of their answer to Steam on the PC market. Kind of sort of. And I only say kind of sort of because they still sell their games on Steam, right?
Mm.
Unless you're EA, for whatever reason. Because I'm EA, right? But unless you're EA, on the PC, most of them, most of the big companies sell their games on Steam. Ubisoft is no different. The difference is Ubisoft, when you buy a Steam game and launch it, it still has your Ubisoft game run Uplay. Would this be a problem? But not really. But I know people, and I've had a few myself, have had incidents with Uplay. First of all, to like make like for example, in like oh that Ghost Recon game that isn't Phantoms. I think it's Future Soldier.
Yeah.
That one came out, and okay, so in order to make like a party on Uplay, you can't invite people through Steam. You have to do it through Uplay. Except it doesn't work half the time. So good luck. And on top of that, Uplay has stopped making like people who bought Watch Dogs on PC. Uplay because of some like if you pre-ordered some sort of skin or you got like one of the pre-order bonuses with some sort of skin or whatever, right? Or no, it was an achievement because Uplay does achievements through Uplay, I believe. So what happened was that if you had this like achievement and you claimed your reward, your in-game reward for the achievement, the game wouldn't boot
Okay,
because of Uplay.
that's just a really, really serious glitch.
Yeah, and it took them a while to fix it. They were basically like their only solution for a while was don't claim the in-game reward. Like, yeah.
Well, I can actually understand that because if they don't know what the problem is, they don't want
No,
people to stop playing it while they
I'm
fix
not
it.
saying okay. I'm not saying that it wasn't a good solution at the time, but it was just like, do you realize how bad that makes them look?
Well,
Like
bugs slip the net.
they slipped a neck, but that's a pretty big bug, Matt.
It's a big bug, and they happen because they're like coming from someone who knows there's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of different variables that you can't account for. Like if you're making a game just to test for bugs, you have to like bang into a table 80 times after walking into a room just to make sure something isn't going to happen catastrophic.
But I guess my question is that I believe this took them like a week to fix. I mean, come on, I believe it was a week.
Yeah, well, if they don't know what's causing the problem, it could take them anything from a week to a month to actually discover, oh, it's actually this thing that's causing it.
But I guess the question is that is this acceptable? This was not an indie game. This was Ubisoft, who has billions upon billions of in-house studios all over the world. Was this an acceptable launch? If you were a big developer, was this acceptable?
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yes. It's like one glitch, and they didn't know it was there. If it would be a different story if they knew it was happening and then still put it out.
Okay.
But they thought, okay, this is solid. We can't find anything wrong. But as soon as but that's only going to be a team of, uh, at most probably a couple hundred, most likely even less. But as soon as a couple million people start playing it, they're going to find things that the team couldn't.
There's still other problems with Uplay and just like its general asinine features don't work. Okay, fine. Watch Dogs not launching, one bug out of a million. Fine,
Hmm.
I'll give you that. But advertise features that don't work. Like I'm trying to invite you to my Ghost Recon Future Soldier party, and it's not working when it would work in a Steam game. So it's not my network, right?
Mhm.
It's their client. And this has been going on, forever? For other games too.
Hmm.
I mean, I think they should just. I understand they want to use it as a DRM platform because Ubisoft is huge into that, but they already sell their games on Steam, which is a DRM platform at heart. Should they just
Well,
get rid of Uplay?
no, I think what they're trying to do is migrate away from Steam because Steam's going to take a cut of whatever they sell through them. So
And
they want to make
you
all their
think they're going to
profits
try to
on
be the
their
next
platform.
EA?
Uh, Everyone's trying to be EA in a way because everyone wants to make as much money as they can on what they make.
So, okay. Overall, your thoughts on Ubisoft, just altogether.
My thoughts on Ubisoft altogether, mostly because I haven't played that much recently that is Ubisoft, is I still love them because I still remember playing all the old like Prince of Persia games on the PS2.
And the original Splinter. You got to give them the original Splinter Cell as well.
Hmm.
You know. But I'm having some problems with you, Ubisoft. You started out all right. You started out, and then you just started yelling at the PC community. You pirate other games. We hate releasing shit for you. You know. Like, was that a good impersonation? I mean, they're
It was,
French.
I'm sure it's a good impression of someone there
Yeah, I mean, they're French.
after a
So.
car accident.
I mean, however, EA, I have not completely given up hope on you because I'm excited for two of your games that are coming out in the future: The Division, yes, and Rainbow Six Siege, which the trailer looked pretty cool. I'll admit, but I mean, it's a trailer that they showed at E3, but it still looked really cool.
Hmm.
You have to stop hiring professional voice actors to try to sound like gamers, though. Like that shit's not gonna fly anymore. That's just bad.
Yeah, really.
Your
It's,
E3
it's
conferences are also really dumb.
it's just trying to make it seem as though it's like they're playing the actual game itself. It just sounded way too scripted. You're better off
Mm-hmm.
just recording a let's play and showing that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I'll leave it off at this, Ubisoft. I'm gonna give you two more chances, maybe one, depending on which comes out first. I want the Division to have a good PC port because Watch Dogs was a terrible PC port. Okay, worked fine on consoles, didn't work that great on PC. You had a lot of issues, which you eventually started fixing them. But how long did it take you? You know, I just want a good, solid. I'm not even asking for it to be like PC only. I'm just asking for a good, solid experience on my PC for the Division and for your which I'm hoping does not, for the love of God, use Uplay. I'm okay with making a Uplay account, but do what you do for Ghost Recon Phantoms. You don't make me launch the Uplay client. You just make me have an account, and I just run it through Steam and your backend servers that you have there, but without using the Uplay client. Give me that for the Division, and I'll probably be happy unless the game itself sucks, which doesn't. Matt, thoughts? Or is there anything you're looking forward to from Ubisoft before we move on?
Yeah, like you say, the Rainbow Six Siege game looks good. Haven't
Mm-hmm.
played one since Vegas though.
I haven't played one since like a PS2 era,
Hmm.
so.
But the Division has like had me sold for quite a while, so I really hope there aren't any like multiplayer issues with that regarding
Mm-hmm.
actual connecting with your friends.
It looks good. It looks fun. I mean, it's only what we saw at E3. It could be completely, totally deceiving, but Ubisoft, I haven't given up on you 100%. I just want you to stop shitting all over the PC community. Is that so much to ask? We're still giving you money. Please, Matt, please make them stop. I know you have a lot of
Um,
power being from Europe, so.
Ubisoft, this is Matt from Europe speaking. Give us a break.
Oh, speaking of you play and how shitty it is, Matt, let's get into your topic because I know you've been waiting. I know you've been waiting for a long time to do this. So,
Oh, which topic are we talking about here? The everything
well,
being
hold
made
on.
on PC, so
Yeah, but before
like
we do that, Danish human being on the chat says, I play a bunch of early access games on Steam. Large game crashing bugs are usually fixed in a day or two. To me, Ubisoft seems to be slacking. He says that early access games on Steam are a thing, and they make you understand you were buying an unfinished game. But according to Danish human being, he says that those early access games, usually by indie companies, those fixes usually get fixed within 2 days or so.
yeah, but
And
we
he
have to
says
bear in
Ubisoft
mind
is slacking.
it's an
So,
early access game, so it's being worked on anyway. It's not something that's finished that they put out and think is done, and then they're moving on to another project. Once the game is Ubisoft is doing is they're putting the game out and thinking, okay, on to the next one, guys. But then they look back at it and think, oh shit, now we have to find time to fix this,
all
rather than
right.
of it being a game they've put out and then are carrying working on.
And 5Moo2 says everyone is trying to be something like Steam.
Of course, because Steam, if you, uh,
Have you seen how wildly
they make
successful
so
they
much
are?
money. Yeah, exactly. They're
It's
really
ridiculous.
successful, and it's like, well, why are we giving them money when we can just basically make something that is the same UI? Because EA has Origin, why can't we do
Hmm.
that?
Well, I think the problem you have to look at EA is or Origin is not making nearly as much money as Steam is.
Oh yeah.
If I were a big company, I'd rather take the marginal profit hit. Well, maybe not be marginal. I don't have a game on there. I don't know how much extra it costs. But I'd rather take the profit hit and have that way wider user base. You know,
Hmm.
because that's just me. I'm not disclaimer. I'm not running a company. I'm not a Turian councilman either. So I guess there's that. But plug my shirt. I don't know why. Um, but I'd rather just put my game on Steam and take the cut. And even if I am a big company, what would you do? You actually have developed and programmed shit.
I understand them wanting to make their own like platform like Steam that everyone can just download stuff from, but at the same time, I'm like you. I bite the bullet and say put my stuff through Steam
I
because
mean,
the user base on there is just like
it's wide,
yeah,
it's massive, and
it's
and
yeah, everyone
and
has
they're,
Steam.
and yeah, and they're huge fanboys. Steam, okay, say what you want about fanboyism, but Steam users tend to be extremely loyal to the what's the word I'm looking for? Platform. They tend to be extremely loyal. And you put your product out, taking that profit hit, you put your product out on that extremely loyal platform. I mean, I bought Magic 2015 just because it's on Steam. I have bought games just because they're on Steam.
Hmm. Steam summer sales do that to you.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure those companies make a you know what? Fuck it, a shit ton of money. I guess I haven't really been holding back before. Why would I do it now?
What?
Um,
Not shit, fuck, piss. There you go. I did it for you. Go
Thank you,
for it.
Matt. But I mean, the Steam sales alone probably make those companies a bunch of money. I'd want to be part of that.
Hmm. Definitely.
So,
Because in the end, you kind of want to be a Steam partner because you're going to benefit from that anyway.
and plus Greenlight, even if you're a small company, although they're getting rid of Greenlight. I mean, to be fair, how much terrible shit has gotten through Greenlight? So we won't talk about that. But let's move on to your topic now. I'm sorry I stalled you from before, but I'm reading the chat as we go along. Audience interaction is the whole point of doing a live show.
Hmm.
So, at least for me.
You know what? I actually forgot what I was going to say anyway.
You wanted to talk about lazy developers, if that brings back any memories.
It does. It's not so that I just don't understand why they would ignore a lot of like other platforms, like Destiny only coming out for the Xbox and the
And
PS4.
the 4.
Why would they completely ignore a PC platform when it's developed on a PC anyway, and all they had to do was like, I bet you there wasn't even that much UI that needed changing.
I bet you it's because, Microsoft and Sony are paying Activision extra. Because, Activision's the publisher, so they have to do everything the publisher says.
But Windows is Microsoft.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. And Microsoft always says, we're dedicated to PC gaming. Just look at Windows. And then games for Windows Live.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it not coming out on Origin or Uplay or anything like that because they're all strictly EA stuff. But
hmm
even still, it should be on Steam, I think.
hmm No, I completely agree with you. I think it's someone is paying Activision not to release it on the PC because that's the only explanation I can think of. They
Or even
developed these games. They developed these games on the PC. Like
you might know this though. Games for Windows Live, is that like Steam, or can you actually get games for Windows through that?
you could, but Microsoft hasn't touched a damn thing for 2 years or so.
So they've given up.
Yeah, they've given up on that because Steam.
Yeah,
Because Steam. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's probably a good thing. But competition is always healthy. But Steam is also always healthy.
I think what Steam has going for it is that it's it was kind of like the first one of what it was doing.
hmm
So
And not only
everyone
was it the
wants that.
first one, it's still, in my opinion, easily one of the best ones.
Well, I don't know if it was
Now,
the first one, but it's the
it
first
was
one.
one of them. I mean, now you have companies like GOG,
Mm,
which is actually a subsidiary of those people that make The Witcher. I forgot the studio's name off the top of my head. CD Red Project or something like that.
I don't know.
Um,
I've never played a Witcher game.
but GOG, they release like really old games. But what they do is they release it in like a wrapper. You know what a wrapper is, right?
Yeah,
So kind of like they release it in like a wrapper,
like
so it will
FIFA,
run on a modern OS.
50
Not
Cent.
like a candy wrapper, but they release it in a format almost like an emulator where your modern PC will be able to run this, and they release it DRM free, which is why a lot of people still support that. And then you also have Green Man Gaming, which is just a Steam key reseller. I have no clue why they exist, but they do. but they just sell Steam keys.
Hmm.
Thank you, Green Man Gaming, for selling Steam keys, but I could just go on Steam and buy it.
Another thing about lazy developers, day one DLC fucking irritates me.
Oh boy. Okay. Call me crazy. I'm sort of okay with it. Now, don't go off on me.
Okay, I won't go off on you
You could go off on
much,
me. I guess that'd make for good
just a little
entertainment,
bit.
right? That'd make for good entertainment, maybe.
Hmm.
But I'm not okay with. I'm less okay with day one DLC, and I'm less okay with on disc DLC. Capcom,
Yeah, that's what I mean as well. Like with Mass Effect 3, the whole Javik DLC was on the
yeah,
disc.
on the disc. At least don't keep it on the disc. Like
Yeah.
then it's okay. Well, I'm not saying well then it's okay because technicality, but really, I'd be less pissed about it
Hmm.
if But on disc DL, you hate DL one day one DLC. On disc DLC just drives me off my rocker. Capcom's done it. EA has done it. BioWare's done it because they're part of EA now. But and they're not the only ones. Almost all of the big companies at some point, other than like Valve, because they don't make games anymore.
Hmm.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Um,
Yeah,
but day
I
one,
bet their entire team is just dedicated to like making new hats and shit for TF2.
yeah, we're working on Half-Life 3. Oh God, how should this hat look?
Working on a Team
Uh,
Fortress 3, guys. Come on.
uh, we're working on no Team Fortress hat. That's the new. That's the name for Team Fortress 3.
Team Fortress hats.
Yeah. Instead of playing as like the characters, you just play as the hats. You know.
Or it's just exactly Team Fortress 2, but capture the flag is capture the hat.
Valve, get on it. Get on it.
Valve, get on that. New game mode.
New game mode. Oh, wait. Holy shit! The chat just exploded.
Well,
Um,
I wouldn't call two people exploding.
no, but they're talking really fast. Let's see. Back in the day, it was as bad as Origins. Yes, Steam was bad at one point, but then they got their shit together. So we could look at the past all we want. Oh, I guess I did that for Ubisoft, so that
Hmm.
argument will be invalid. We could look at
Well,
Steam's past all we want, but we got to
that's
look at
an
them now.
argument. If it's bad at first, when you think about it, Origin and Uplay are relatively young compared to Steam, so maybe
Mhm.
a few years
Maybe they
down
will
the
get
line they'll
better.
be much better. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'll actually be worth it. Yeah, I tend to skip games if they aren't on Steam. I still think Ubisoft is slacking, Mac, even if the game is finished. That's what Danish human being says.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, I agree. They should have like a team hanging back and saying, "Look, stuff's going to go wrong with this game. When it does, fix this. But meanwhile, we're going to do this."
I mean, it's true. Name one big release that has not had bugs upon release. None of them. There's no such thing as a bug-free game. I'll admit it. But
I
why
can think
aren't
of
there
one.
more
There is
preventionary
a bug free
measures? Okay.
game. Cards.
Cards Against Humanity, the only game that came out with no bugs. Um, but
Although a few controversies with it, but no bugs.
yeah, let's see. So there's that. We both agree that there should be a team hanging back. Games for Windows is dead. It's not kind of dead. Microsoft hasn't taken it down for some reason.
Do you need
Games for
games
Windows,
Windows for Dark Souls 2?
no. It's that
Oh,
that's
thank God,
Steamworks.
thank God for that.
Yeah, Games for Windows is full of bugs. Can't connect half the time. The other half, I keep getting disconnected, just like you play. Um, they're removing it. No, they use your guys, Chuck. No, all the games swapped over to Steamworks, but then Microsoft did not actually take down Games for Windows Live. It is still there. Holy crap, Matt's gone. Oh, Matt's
No,
back.
I'm back.
So, okay. So, lazy developers on disc DLC / day one DLC. What else do you want to talk about? What grinds your gears about lazy development?
Uh, I'm gonna complain about a specific game now.
Okay, do it.
Sniper Elite 3.
Hey,
Uh,
Sniper Elite 3, you're on Matt's watch list. You're on
uh,
the list.
Played it. I think it's a great game. It's just, it's I consider it's a. Would you consider it a AAA title? It was hyped up that much.
It was hyped up a lot. Okay, I've never played it. I played the zombie games for that were like the expansions for the second game, but I never played 3.
Hmm. Well,
But I think it was a pretty decently big budget title.
yeah,
Who
it was
published it?
still a big game made by Rebellion,
Mhm.
but it's only 8 levels long, and they only gave you 4 rifles. When and when in the first one, well, no, the main issue actually is on the box art. On the box art itself, you can clearly say Carl Fairburn on his back. It's a Car 98 rifle,
Mhm.
but
Oh,
it's
don't tell me it's not even in the game.
the rifle itself isn't in the game, not even in the DLC. So
That's
maybe
pretty
it'll come out,
bad.
maybe
Holy
it'll come out
shit.
in another pack later on. But even still, like in V2, they gave you the Mosin Nagant. You had to buy that as DLC for this one, and there was no Springfield rifle or anything. They gave you 4 guns, 8 levels, and that was it.
That was it. Any
Yeah.
multiplayer?
There's multiplayer, but there's only like I think there's 2 like like wave survival horde mode kind of deal.
So there
There's
was
2
no
levels.
like it was not multiplayer focused. It was supposed to be a single player focus was what they were
It
pushing.
was slow mo shoot your target, watch their brains get drilled out by a bullet focused.
Mhm.
They put a
Okay.
lot of effort into that slow mo kill cam kind of thing, and not enough into actual giving you enough gameplay. I think.
Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna respond to chat right quick. Yes, Street Fighter 4 does use Steamworks now, but Games for Windows Live is still up, and it's still downloadable, and it's still installable. Microsoft has not killed it, and they have not taken it off any of their websites. That's what I'm trying to point out. Microsoft said they were not going to kill Games for Windows Live. They didn't say anything about keep supporting it and updating it, but they didn't take it off, and they said they were not going to trash it completely. Is what I'm trying to get at. They changed their minds at the last minute, it seems. Anyway, sorry, Matt. Just reading the chat while you were talking. You know.
No, that's all right. I've said my piece about it.
All right. I'll bite on your topic and I'll say lazy development. Um, Mass Effect 3 ending. Does that count as lazy?
Oh,
Lazy?
and well, at least they tried going back and trying to fix the mess, but the damage was already
Was
done.
already done, and it wasn't even that good of a fix.
All it did was like fix like a couple of holes. Like, okay, where the fuck did my team go?
Where the fuck did my team go? Nowhere. I'm still waiting for them to surprise update the game like 2 years later with the "it was all a dream" ending.
Shepard wakes. Like what was it?
Shepard wakes up in an insane asylum in modern day like America.
No, I feel like picked up like the sole survivor thing. He actually wakes up from like a coma or something from his backstory.
Like, hey,
It's like
where's the
none of this happened.
Reapers? What?
So,
What Reapers?
so I didn't fuck Liara?
Eh,
Everyone's like, who's Liara?
hey, who's the other? What's the Turian?
Like, but Bajak Benazia, Saren. Who's Saren, dude? It's like,
Who's
what if like it
what
was
are
just
the
a coma
Turians doing
and
right?
what if he hadn't even left Earth? It's still like the 20th century or some shit.
What are the Turians doing? What the fuck are Turians? Dude, are you okay?
What the fuck's a Turian? You high?
Like,
He's just like shaking his tits off in a bathtub with a needle.
mm-hmm. Someone's been giving him like cocaine or like no, someone's giving him shrooms while he's in his coma. Would that be okay?
Putting like
This
meth in
is-
his like IV drip.
This is going to be important. Okay.
Hmm.
Tab talk related question about video games and other nerd hobbies. Is it okay to give a coma patient magic mushrooms? That is totally video
Sure.
game related. Your answer is sure.
Sure, why not? I mean, they've got no brain activity anyway. If anything, you're gonna give them a memorable dream.
What if that's the cure, and we just don't know it?
So that would kind of mean someone has to put the mushrooms in their mouth, hold the jaw, and kind of chew for them.
Well, why can't they just put it in an IV drip? We have all these chemical processes today to do
Yeah.
shit like that. Maybe one day we'll find out hallucinogenics will wake up all those coma patients.
I
What
would
year
like
is
if there's
this?
like a doctor watching this one day and goes, "Holy fuck, that's the answer.
I'm gonna.
Why didn't we think of that?"
Yeah, I'm gonna do this experiment.
Some like back alley doctor in Mexico is gonna try it now and think, "Holy shit, we've done it."
We've done it. We're gonna be rich, rich with pesos, boys.
Oh, pesos. Do you still use
Hey,
those?
can you put your pop filter over your eye?
Arr.
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Arr.
Arr, diddly dee. Okay, thank you for indulging. Thank you for indulging me. So, I think we've recorded for a while, Matt.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to keep going. Do you have any more topics? I'm out of like big topics for now.
Maybe we should petition to ask people what they want us to play, if they want us to play anything sometime.
Okay, yeah, sure. Um, let's do that right quick. Before we go, any bromancers watching right now in the live chat, or this will turn into a YouTube after this is done. So leave a comment, post on our Facebook. We'll have a Twitter soon when I get around to it. I'm just deciding some things about it, but let us know what you want us to see. What you let us know what you want us to play. What do you want to watch us play, if anything? Um, Danish human being says it's time to walk the pup and smoke the joint. Good for you, Danish human being. Good for you to be Danish, and good for you for being a human being. But what do you want us to do? What do you want us to play? Let us know in the comments, or on Facebook, or on Twitter when that gets around. We still have
Or carry a
some more.
pigeon, or a
Yeah,
letter, or a phone
or a
call.
letter, or carrier picture. You know
Or
what?
you can really be medieval and fax us. We don't have a fax machine though.
I don't. So, um, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, Slipknot JRW 1993 says he wants to watch us play Smite. I don't think I could get Matt to do that. I could stream that on Twitch maybe, but there's no
Well,
way I can get
if
Matt to play
you
that.
is Smite free to play?
Yeah, it's a free to play, but it's a MOBA.
All right, I will bite the bullet and I will play Smite sometime.
Okay. Boom. He'll play Smite sometime, and that'll actually be a really good video because it'll just be him complaining for like
It
30
will be
minutes.
me. Like, it will be me like, oh god, such an immersion killer. This fucking camera angle, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's just gonna be him complaining, but like, what that mechanic's bullshit. You're dumb. What do you mean?
What the fuck am I, cherub? Am I a murder baby?
Yeah. Oh, you want to play Vamana? But
No, I really don't.
thank you guys so much for watching. I had a blast. MOBA games are not boring. It just depends on the MOBA. Smite is not boring. Smite, if you like competitive gaming and a competitive nature, MOBAs are ridiculous because they bring out the worst of you and the best of you at the same time. Smite and Counter-Strike, those are the games that bring out the worst in me.
Oh, okay.
What?
Just,
What?
I think if any game that's competitive brings out the worst in everybody at some point.
That's true. Oh my god, back in the olden days of 360, you and me playing Battlefield Bad Company 2, you just, what? How did I get shot?
What do I get shot? What the fuck happened here? You fucking what, lad?
You fucking what, lad? I'm American, I can't really do it. Thank you, Matt, for being British enough to do that for me.
You're welcome.
Haha, screw you, Chuck. You're just envious of my pretty face. Yes, Danish human being. I am jealous of your pretty face. This is Chuck. This is the part where you say your name.
I'm gonna say my name now. It's Matt, apparently.
Alright, let's try that again. Well, Matt's actually a human being. This is Chuck
And Matt.
from the Atlantic Bromance, and we're signing out from Tab Talk Episode 1. See you later, guys.
When are we doing this
When are we
again?
going to do this again? Eventually.
Oh, great.
At some point. If
Very
this
specific.
is well received, if this is well received enough, I mean, this is kind of, I like this. I liked it. How about you? Did you like doing this?
Yeah, I like this. I'm gonna circle eventually on my calendar now.
So when is eventually?
I don't
On
know.
the
When is
calendar.
eventually? Was it gonna be like maybe a every 1 week, 2 week thing, something like that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing this like once a week, twice a week, or something like that. Not
Yeah.
twice a week, or once a week, or once every 2 weeks, something like that.
Hmm.
Not twice a week because holy shit, news doesn't go by that fast. Um, but this is easily we can easily do this. So I want to thank you guys again for watching the Atlantic Bromance Tab Talk episode 1. Signing out. See you guys. Mark your calendars for eventually.
Bye.
Bye, bye guys.